Another thing to look at is your broadhead selection and your arrow length, your arrow spine at this point. It's still early enough that if you need to get it corrected, you can. If you go out and you take that arrow, you put that field tip on there, and you have that as close as you can to cheat spine to get that extra feet per second. Well, what happens is when you go and you put this, and you look at the length there, that broadhead is another inch. So you're essentially making that arrow an inch longer. So that'll change the flex of that arrow. So if you're trying to cheat spine that close, you may have some issues when you go away from a mechanical head. Right? If you have that spine right and you have your arrows right, one other thing you need to check is how that insert is in. Make sure you spin test this arrow. Either get a spin tester or you spin it on your hand to make sure that there's no wobble in it. A lot of that wobble is not from the arrow itself, but it comes from how that insert is put in. If that insert is crooked, that broadhead's going to have a little wiggle to it as it flies. As that wiggles with a fixed blade, that's going to hurt your arrow flight. With a mechanical, it's not going to be as bad. It will hurt on penetration because now you're not only trying to stabilize that, opening all the blades and the side pressure, you have all three of those combined hindering your penetration on that. So the more or the straighter this is, the more in tune and the better spine, the better penetration you will get and the better arrow flight out of that. So look at what type of broadhead. Are you going to go with a mechanical or are you going to go with a fixed blade? Okay, myself, I shoot both depending on what it is. I've got a Bobcat tag this year, so I'll be shooting the small Thunderheads, the Thunderhead Nitro. For deer, I like shooting the Spitfire or the Spitfire Double Cross. I like the Spitfire Double Cross as far as turkeys. For elk, larger game, I'll shoot the Hellraisers. So each one, try to tune that, and if everything is in tune, you should be able to shoot them all. Right? Now is when you need to be testing that. Don't put that broadhead on and expect it to fly exactly right unless things are properly tuned and in tune for you. The other thing you want to look at right now is if you're shooting a lighted nock. As you get older like myself, sometimes it's a little more difficult to see certain colors. So with this one, this is green. When you look at this, this is the Thunder Nocks from NAP. You look at that, and is that going to be hard for you to see? Or is red going to be harder to see or easier to see? Which one is it for you as you look at that light go through or when that knock comes on? So if you're shooting those, check those out. See what color is best for you to see and to track that arrow through flight. It will also, if you use those during your practice, will also tell you if that broadhead is out of tune or not, because you'll be able to see that flight better than just your arrow and watch that arrow wobble. Hopefully, if you have it tuned right, everything's in tune, you won't see that wobble at all. It'll look like a dart flying down there, and you'll be a lot more accurate and a lot happier when you have that big buck hanging on your wall after this fall season.